Greetings again, my name is Andy Reid. This video, Number Bonds 2 for subtraction, is very similar to the Number Bonds 1 video for addition. However, there are important differences which I will show during this video. I want to emphasize that the technical terms number bonds, decomposition and unbundling should not be mentioned at all to the children until they have developed a great understanding of the concepts which are behind these terms. The content of this video is very similar to the content of Number Bonds 1 for addition. First of all, I refer to the visible learning levels and assuring learning success. As previously, the 4 spoken practice phases will be applied in turn to the concrete, illustrative and then written levels. I will indicate the anticipated progress of the learner. The bonus on monitoring progress is a small part of my approach to assessment, which is both comprehensive and time-saving, and is accessible and usable by all those involved, namely children, teachers, parents and officials. There will be several videos to follow on assessment. In my video on the fundamentals of learning, I included reference to the visible learning levels and arrived at this diagram. This topic is an excellent demonstration of this abstraction process through which I will be leading the learner. I advocate this for all learning. In that first video, I also explained the indispensable learning success and illustrated it as here. In comparison with video 5 for addition, it's very important to show that we are now not adding but taking away or rolling away, and of course that's subtraction. And why not take a couple of examples before we get to the grid of marbles. Here are 7 marbles. And I'm going to remove or roll away or take away 2. And there are now only 5. And I can say that as 7 take away 2 equals 5. Or 7 minus 2 equals 5. Here is another example. Here I have 7 marbles. 7 take away 4 is 3, or 7 minus 4 is 3. Here is my pattern of marbles. I'm going to be taking away marbles and saying what I'm doing. For instance, 7 marbles take away 1 is 6. 7 marbles take away 4 is 3. 7 marbles take away 2 is 5. 7 marbles take away 6 is 1, and so on. The children should copy the pattern onto a square 100 from Mathemats and try this out. They should sit together in their pairs or groups of 3s, and one child chooses rows at random and all of the children say what the row is. Or if you prefer, they can take it in turns. They are free to move to other quantities like 6 or 8 or 9 or 10 whenever they choose. describing the rows chosen at random. Phase 2 is describing the rows in order. One child points and all children, or the children take it in turns, saying what the row is. 7 take away 0 is 7. 7 take away 1 is 6. 7 take away 2 is 5. 7 take away 3 is 4, and so on. The third phase is partly memory. It is describe each row before revealing it. 7 take away 0 is 7, and then see whether your description is correct. 7 take away 1 is 6. 7 take away 2 is 5. And if the children are unsure, they can have a look and then cover up again and then say what the next row is. 7 take away 3 equals 4. And so it goes on. The fourth phase is to say what is under the covering sheet without moving it. In this case, 7 take away 0 is 7. 7 take away 1 is 6. 7 take away 2 is 5. And at any time when the children are not sure, they can have a look and then cover up and carry on from where they were before. Here is a summary of the 4 phases, which are applied to concrete, illustrative and written levels. At a suitable moment, the illustrative version can be introduced. This is the same as in video 5. And the same 4 phases are used as in the concrete version. This is very useful for homework or working on their own or having help from parents, relations and friends. The pattern can be filed in the Creative folder. See my video on resources. The written version can be introduced somewhat later, and I want to emphasize that the written version is more or less my end point and not my start. It shows what the children can already do. We apply the same 4 phases, though in most cases children only want to apply phase 3 and phase 4. Each child or pair should control the progress. This involves, for instance, choosing another quantity. Here is an example for 5. Continuing with an existing quantity, deciding on the level, concrete, illustrative or written, and deciding on which of the 4 phases to use. I advise staying in the range 5 to 12 at first. Below 5 and the pattern is less obvious and the practice very short. Above 12 and each phase is quite long. However, each child or pair should be free to choose. Here is an example of how a child or a pair could progress. First of all, they will use several quantities at the concrete level, followed sometime later by the illustrative level and the written level. Then there may be some quantities where they only use the illustrative and written level, and then further quantities where they find it sufficient to just use the written level. And then all other quantities will have nothing, no illustrative and no written level as evidence, because they don't need them. Why? Eventually, then nothing. And the answer is the child has understood the concept and more work on this concept is entirely unnecessary. Monitoring progress is an essential part of effective learning. It should enable children, parents and teachers to easily maintain an overview and enable and encourage the choosing of further activities. Here is page 3 of 8 of my Competence Development Success System for Quantity and Arithmetic. A particular level and phase is covered and then it can be coloured in. I find it helpful to use different colours in progression to stated dates. As a result, children or parents or teachers can look at this formula and see where further activities could be made. See my videos on assessment for a full explanation. Well, that's all for this video. Take a look at my website for links to other videos, downloads and further information. And why not subscribe so that you get the latest information on the videos I'm releasing. I wish you every success and lots of fun. Bye.